America is a land of bright lights and broken dreams, a place that delights and inspires a hunger for fame. It's also a place that some people find hard to leave, even after death.
My name's Gail Porter and I'm a skeptic.
My name is Chris Fleming and I am a sensitive.
It's my mission to investigate alleged sightings and hauntings of Hollywood ghosts.
A sensitive can detect paranormal events beyond the range of the 5 senses.
I wouldn't say I'm a non-believer, but I'm definitely a skeptic.
Together, our mission is to investigate the dead famous. Our investigation into the spirit of Joan Crawford would take us on a road journey through California, from the faded majesty of one of Hollywood's most famous studios.
The pictures are very fucking weird.
To the windswept clifftop where she loved to dine, before ending at her favourite hotel,
What is it? What is it?
which locals now nickname The Shining.
What I was, bitch.
Joan Crawford was one of Hollywood's ultimate stars. Starting life as a dancer, she got to Los Angeles through sheer determination and force of will. Born Lucille Fay LeSueur in 1905, Joan was smaller and feistier than most of her contemporaries. But though short in stature, she was big in talent, and she knew it.
Our journey to find the ghost of Joan Crawford starts here, in LA on Bristol Avenue where she once lived. Her old house is said to have been exorcised many times to rid it of its paranormal activity and malevolent energy.
Joan Crawford's reputation was ruined posthumously with the memoir Mummy Dearest, which portrayed her as a vicious, bad-tempered woman. So if we find Joan's spirit, will it take on this persona, or will we find the shimmering, glamorous icon of Hollywood's golden age?
Joan Crawford's old house has a paranormal history all of its own. In its time, Joan's daughter, Christina, said that she often heard other children's voices coming from inside the walls. Joan also heard the voices and arranged for an exorcism, but the malevolent energy seemed to possess the actress. After she died, her bedroom wall erupted into flames. Investigations never determined why this was happening. However, subsequent owners have suffered mental distress here, and it has been exorcised time and time again.
Do you think it's possible that because this house was haunted, that the spirits could have possessed Joan and made her act in the way that she acted?
See, I don't really think a house or an inanimate object can possess anybody. I think it's really what resides in the house. Was it some form of entity? Was this place built on, like, Indian burial ground?
But could it? Well, could the entity have got into her?
Yes.
And what about the fire and the walls and stuff? Can that happen, and why would that happen?
Well, see, without being there, we don't really know, what occurred. It could have been a bunch of things. It could have been maybe her anger manifested this, created it through these flames. Yes, you can sometimes, with so much energy that you have, you can make things occur. Was it that? Was it the entity that was living there that wanted to make itself known? Or could it have been some electrical problems in the wall? I mean, we have to question that.
The present owners would not allow us to film inside the house. However, Chris felt that Joan's spirit was unlikely to be residing here, as it was clear there was malevolent energy already present. In order to find out whether Joan's spirit lived on, we needed more information. While Chris met up with Hollywood writer Jimmy Bangley, I went to interview Joan's PR agent, Bob Thomas. Would their knowledge give us some clues?
I think she was a very complex woman, a very hard woman, a very ambitious woman, and a woman who loved making movies. She loved being the star, dressing the part, being the part. Her dearest friends said they hardly ever saw her step out of character. Really? She was a movie star 24/7.
What would you say she was like?
Well, she was nothing like what she portrayed on the screen, because she was usually a woman in some kind of trouble. And she was a very elegant lady, always dressed up. If she had to go to the grocery store, she would go in full makeup.
So did people like her?
I think her friends did, but I think basically most people were probably kind of scared of her, or either sensed maybe a phoniness. I think she was a very hard woman who would do anything to get to her objectives, no matter what.
When Joan was working with Bette Davis on Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, there was a lot of worldwide reports that the two of them just did not get on at all on set. Was this true?
To a certain extent, yes. When you have two ladies who have been queens of every set they walked on, and suddenly there are two of them, you're going to have a fracas.
Now, some people that were scared of her were actually her children.
Absolutely. Well, unfortunately, as Christina wrote in the famous book Mummy Dearest, and as people witnessed, she was abusive, especially to her first two adoptive children that really got the brunt of it, Christopher and, of course, Christina. I think she was a very bad mother to them.
Now, do you think that her spirit is still around?
Yes, I do, completely. I think you should start where she worked, the studios she worked. There were 3 main ones, but the oldest continuing studio in Hollywood And I think now in the world is Raleigh Studios, which is known to be a hotbed of spirits.
The Raleigh Studios were built in 1914. They have a rich history that includes names like Charlie Chaplin, Frank Sinatra, and of course, Joan Crawford. Still a working studio, it is also allegedly rich in paranormal activity.
Now, I've heard that a couple of these studios are actually haunted.
Yeah? Well, that's good. That's what we want.
Well, the other thing is Joan Crawford actually filmed one of her movies here.
Whatever happened to Baby Jane?
Yep.
We're going to go into that studio.
For more than 60 years, stagehands have felt an unearthly presence, and there have been continuous reports of power failure, equipment moving, mysterious music, and drastic drops in temperature. We met up with archivist Mark Wanamaker.
Well, here we are at stage 1. This is, of course, the famous Whatever Happened to Baby Jane stage.
And is this one haunted?
Well, we think it is, because a few years ago, a roofer was killed here. He had fallen right through. And a psychic did come here and feel something about somebody falling.
So is this the most haunted stage that you have?
No, our most haunted one is stage 5, and that is the one that's most fun.
Built in 1915, Stage 5 is the studio's oldest stage.
It was an open stage for the silent film era, and then eventually it was enclosed in 1926.
It's
and of
huge,
course,
isn't
it is our haunted stage. There was one story in 1932 of an electrician up in the catwalk who fell and was killed, and ever since then it's been haunted.
What kind of things have happened in here?
There was a giant chandelier hanging right in the middle, and it weighs a ton, and it could only be moved by 3 or 4 people. And one night the caretakers were closing up, shutting the lights. They did everything. They went outside, but forgot to do something and came back in again right away. All the lights were on, and the chandelier was swinging with a great swinging movement, which only a strange phenomena could do.
Are you picking up anything at all? Or?
Well, not yet, since we just walked in, and plus I'm intrigued by some of his stories. Yeah, if I can get acquainted with this, maybe I'll be able to pick something out.
No, that'll be good. I did this many years ago. I tried to do this, but the conditions were wrong. Maybe you'll have better luck.
We'll
Yes,
try.
we'll try, yeah, absolutely.
Was this paranormal activity attributable to Joan, making her presence felt at the studios where she had her greatest cinematic triumph? Before we'd even set up properly, Chris began to feel something.
It's going through me.
Chris instructed me to take pictures, and this was what we caught.
There were two massive ones in your stomach.
See if you see anything move quickly around me.
Chris claims that he could feel when these so-called orbs were passing through him.
They're coming in, cruising in so fast, and they're getting out of here. So they're just going boom right through.
Was one of these the spirit of Joan Crawford?
Very strange.
I think they're actually coming through the floor now. Take one to the floor. They're moving quick.
What are you feeling? How do you feel?
You know if you have a t-shirt or shirt and you go like this to it and it punctures like a hole or it just gets an impression? Okay? They're coming right through me like that. So every time they come in, they slip in, it makes me kind of jump. Now I'm doing this on purpose right now.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's what's happening. So I'm feeling like a coldness going right through me. All right, guys. Obviously you want to make yourself known, and thank you. We are so interested in you. So interested in you right now.
Okay.
Surround Gail.
My neck.
Surround
My
Gail
neck.
right now and make yourself known. Okay, I got one by your stomach. A little one. I got a bunch with nothing, and then I got one with one right by your stomach. Okay, see it?
The pictures are very fucking weird. Excuse my language,
All right,
but I think
we'll go to the
should
corners of the
go.
room. Don't be afraid. There's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of spirits here. Question is who and why?
If I made a noise or anything like that, I'd be out of here right now.
Right here. All right, this is the spot that the guy died. There he fell. This is where I first took the pictures.
Horrible. I don't feel as weird as I did in there. Is that you? Oh, God.
I'm not getting any more.
No.
You feel anything at all?
No, I did a little bit. I was getting, like, my hairs on my neck were standing up and everything. I didn't feel anything around the back here.
Okay. I think they
Do you think
they got bored.
There had definitely been activity at the Raleigh Studios, and Chris believed we had the photographic proof. We were not completely certain what this energy was and whether it had been Joan Crawford, but it had now disappeared. The following morning, Chris and I met to discuss our photographic findings.
All right, Gail, what I did is I downloaded all the pictures that we took last night while we were at the studio, and this is what I started getting. Okay, we call these orbs, or sometimes it's a strange anomaly. We've taken quite a few other pictures on our investigations, and we have not gotten stuff like this. See here?
That is very strange.
How that orb appears right over my chest, and right there I'm like, okay, I'm feeling them. They're behind me. They're moving through me now.
But there's nothing there.
There's nothing there. But then, boom, right in there. And look at how I'm looking down because I'm feeling it as if it's coming right through me.
What about the whole pattern? I mean, why is it shaped like that?
Well, the only thing that I can think of, okay, and there really hasn't been that much research that's been done to discuss that, is it's kind of like a nucleus, like a cell, okay, and it's definitely in a round shape. Okay, a round form is the best way for it to travel, okay, because there's no curves to it, no edges to prevent it to travel through anything. Now, you have to admit, that anomaly that you're seeing here is pretty strange.
I think they're amazing, and also I think definitely we didn't get anything to do with Joan Crawford. We got something great on film. I think we need to move on and see if we can find something else.
For many Hollywood stars, Los Angeles was a place to be seen in. But for those who wanted to relax and get away from it all, the landscape and amenities of North California provided a classy and secluded playground. I knew of a few places that Joan Crawford used to frequent, and where there had been definite reports of paranormal activity.
We went to this place called the Moss Beach Distillery, and it's a very famous restaurant, and lots of people have visited it, politicians and gangsters and lots of actors and actresses, and it was Joan Crawford's favourite restaurant. And the other great thing about it is it's got a ghost.
It does.
It's got a blue lady.
The Moss Beach Distillery is well known on the San Mateo coast, not only for its food and views, but for its ghost. Over the years, a colourful history and strange occurrences have imparted a mystical element to the restaurant. Opened in 1927 as Frank's Place, it operated as the coastside's most successful speakeasy. However, these days, it is the thought of dining in a haunted restaurant that gathers most attention. We met with the owner to find out some more about its history.
The distillery was built back in the 20s, and it was a roadhouse. As you know, we're about 25 miles from San Francisco, so the big shots of the politicians and the presidents, all kinds of people have been here over the years. And one in particular that always impressed everybody was Joan Crawford, who was here many times. She really liked the Moss Beach Distillery. Of course, we always respect the privacy of celebrities of one kind or another.
I was explaining to Chris earlier on that you have got a blue lady ghost here.
Right.
Could you tell me the story behind that?
Well, the story goes like this, that in 1926, a bartender was married to this young lady who was a beautiful woman, and she used to come in every night just to visit with him with this beautiful blue dress on. And then in 1927, she was found on the beach, dead, stabbed through the chest. And since then, she's been haunting the distillery. In every room in the restaurant, every person who's worked here for any period of time has had some sort of experience of one kind or another. There's been some pretty outrageous things that have happened, too, that go way beyond that. So,
How do you guys know for sure that it's attached to someone who died here? I mean, it could be Joan Crawford, it could be somebody else.
Well, yeah, you're right. It could be. That's a possibility. We just don't know for sure at this point.
Well, maybe we'll find out tonight what it really is.
Right.
If it's Joan or not.
Yeah.
We waited for the sun to dip down behind the ocean and for the diners to finish their meals. It was hard to imagine that a place which offered such hospitality was also home to darker, uninvited guests. Chris had invited along parapsychologist Lloyd Auerbach.
There's no proof that a place is haunted other than the experiences of human beings. And here at the Moss Beach Distillery, people are having experiences on a fairly regular basis. We're dealing with a phenomena of the human mind, with experiences of the human mind. And since we have no absolute proof that the mind exists, we have no proof that ghosts exist. We have evidence. The Blue Lady was first seen by many people, and probably from the 1930s to about the early 80s, she was more seen and felt than anything else. In the late 70s and then through the early 80s, apparently, things started moving. She either had learned to move things at that point or decided to focus on that.
With the restaurant now closed and empty, we were ready to investigate. Could the Blue Lady or one of its other ghosts actually be Joan Crawford back to a place she loved to visit? Chris was already feeling a presence. We split up to explore the rest of the building.
I just thought I'd come up without Chris, because apparently whoever the Blue Lady is more attracted to women than she is to men. And I just think that maybe it'd be worth her while just wandering around and see if we can pick anything up. Should we go in there, because it's very dark, maybe.
Down in the lower restaurant, Chris was picking up physical emotions, and his arm muscles were starting to contort. He felt like a paranormal entity was sending him some sort of signal.
Why is it doing this? Whatever this one spirit that's butting out the other one is doing this.
You keep getting that other something.
And whoa! Oh shit! Sorry. Okay, sorry. It just, I felt as if a physical thing came right into my face right there. So the head was right there. I thought it was maybe the camera guy, but it was not. All right, that's when they get kind of irritated, mad. This is unique.
We thought we heard a noise coming from outside. I went to investigate.
What's all those chairs? Wait,
The last time I'd come out there, those chairs had been upright.
see all the chairs? It's not even windy. Not a single bit of windiness. I swear, it's the calmest night in the world. Look at that. It's really creepy out here.
What is this? Were you tied up? Were you tied up? Yes. Okay, yes. All right, it was tied up. Do you have anything to do with Joan Crawford at all? Anything to do with Joan? No.
This from Prohibition?
Was this? Whoa, yes.
Okay.
Okay, yes.
Were you one of the smugglers?
Very strong, yes. All right, hang on. That was overwhelming. Yes.
Were you dumped in the ocean out there?
Not getting a direct yes on that.
They chain you up and bury you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, God dang it. Sorry, it's coming through strong, yes, but I'm sensing that it was in a cave or it was on the mountainside, rock, like a big rock.
There was supposed to be a smuggler's cove, like a small cave where you get some of the booze.
Yes.
around.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Look up there. Look at upstairs. What is that? Did you see that? Did you see that light?
On closer inspection, it does appear that something is looking down at us from the upstairs window on the left. This is not the crew or Chris and Lloyd as they were filming downstairs. Was somebody watching us? Was it one of the ghosts? Was it Joan Crawford? Chris had allegedly channeled the emotions of a smuggler who had suffered a horrible death here. It appeared that this energy had now left his body. Tired and emotional from the experience, Chris still felt that there was some sort of presence waiting in the shadows of this restaurant, but didn't think it was Joan Crawford.
God, some of these investigations get so frustrating. Because even though you know the spirits are here, they don't want to do anything. They don't listen. They like to do it on their own time. So no matter how much time we stay here, we might not get anything that's collective. And then sometimes you just might. It's not like you say, action, and I'll do it.
Joan Crawford once said, "I never go out unless I look like Joan Crawford, the movie star. If you want to see the girl next door, then go next door." So we centred our search for her ghosts on her glamorous haunts, the studios, restaurants and hotels she frequented. Chris was certain that Joan's spirit hadn't passed to the other side and was residing somewhere unsettled and unhappy. The question was, where? We knew full well that Joan patronised a number of establishments in this North Californian region, and it is one of these that we made the next stop on our journey.
Brookdale Lodge is actually called The Shining by a lot of our locals. There is a lot of people that come here, but they only come here during the day. They don't come here at night. We do have a lot of people that do stay here, and they love staying here. And when they check out, they tell us that they probably won't come back again, but they don't know why.
This place in its heyday was really, really well known for having lots of famous guests like Marilyn Monroe and Joan Crawford, obviously, who we're looking for. And it's supposed to be really haunted.
I know, I heard a lot about it. It's very paranormally active.
Really?
Supposed to be a lot of friendly ghosts, but some scary ones too.
The Brookdale Lodge was built on the site of a lumber mill in 1890. In the early 1920s, the owner built the dining room with a natural brook running through it. From then on, many celebrities passed through it, including, of course, Miss Crawford. It was in the 40s and 50s that the lodge entered its most intriguing period, becoming a home for gangsters. Hidden rooms were installed throughout the lodge, and rumours of buried bodies under the floor began to circulate. Also, during this time, 6-year-old Sarah Logan, the niece of the lodge owner, drowned in the dining room creek. It's her ghost that's most often seen at the Brookdale. A 13-year-old girl also drowned in the hotel's swimming pool, forcing its closure. Her spirit has been seen too.
The room's haunted.
I have a haunted one?
You sure can. I'll give you the scariest one in the house.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I would say room 46 is the scariest room. We have a few ghosts that frequent it. We have a couple loggers that go through there, as well as a middle-aged lady that just kind of wanders through one wall and doesn't say anything, just goes right out the door. And when I say out at the door, I mean through the door. I think the ghosts like it here because we've been here for a long time, and they've been here for a long time. It's old and it's quaint, and we have a lot of nooks and crannies and rooms that still haven't been discovered. We have a lot of stairways. Lots of things going on here that you just don't see nowadays. I think they're comfortable being here.
There's been a lot of weird weird things happening. People say that the place is haunted, and supposedly it's the first owner's niece, Sarah. She's about 7 years old. Fell and drowned off the bridge.
We've had people hearing footsteps running around the balconies, doors opening and closing, food mysteriously start cooking in the fryer.
I've heard voices, people speaking, but you can't really make out what they're saying. You hear faint music playing really lightly again, and you don't know where it's coming from.
People saying they feel breezes going by them as they're eating.
Wondering if you really felt what you just thought you felt.
Am I scared? Yes.
Once settled in our rooms, I'd arranged to find out more about the hotel and its ghosts.
Ghostly sightings we have pretty frequently. I would say almost, I don't want to say every night, but I'd say probably 3 or 4 times a week that we have things popping through here and things happening.
What kind of things happen?
Things happening, we have sightings of Sarah, who's our most famous ghost.
Who's Sarah?
Sarah is a little girl that actually drowned in the creek right behind us I believe it was the 1950s. Her uncle was the owner of this place, and he was building an extra bridge to get across. And she was playing in the creek, and she drowned, and she was apparently stuck behind some ferns, and saw just a piece of her dress.
She just wandered around when she feels like
She goes up to some people, and she asks, "Have you seen my mother?" And at that point, she appears as a full human being, doesn't seem to have any vapors, or just looks like a regular person like her myself.
We heard that Joan Crawford was a very big fan of coming here.
Joan Crawford spent a lot of time here. In fact, she said this was her favorite place outside of her own home. We still believe that she still visits us from time to time.
Do you? Because that's obviously who we're looking for.
I believe she's still here.
The beauty and the serenity of this landscape suddenly changed. The air grew dark and gloomy, and the hotel now felt very isolated. Jean had given us full rein to investigate the hotel. Chris had invited along professional ghost tracker, Gloria. Not only had she experienced paranormal activity here, but she also had some state-of-the-art paranormal detection equipment that could prove it. She set this up in one of the oldest rooms, the log room, a location where allegedly a lot of energy had been felt.
Well, we have a program that we put together, which is called our Ghost Tracker, and that stands for Gradient Haunting Oscilloscoped Supernatural Tracker, or Ghost Tracker. What we've learned is that we're not getting too many readings off our electromagnetic field meters anymore, so we've turned to using Geiger counters, which we have discovered over using a series of investigations might work a little bit better and might give us more results.
So what are you hoping to accomplish with this tonight?
We're hoping to leave this here for at least a couple of hours, walk away, and let's see if there's anything that's able to be detected in here by using the Geiger counter meter.
So if there's nothing in here, we've got to make sure there's no mobile phones, all lights are off, so there couldn't be any other possible explanation. Is that right?
That's the idea, is to eliminate all man-made or natural possibilities.
And so if we do get a lot of readings, and you give us a summary at the end, what would that conclude?
That would conclude that we've eliminated, again, man-made possibilities, natural possibilities, and the only thing left are paranormal possibilities.
Okay.
We left the equipment and went to investigate the other rooms, keen to see if any of the hotel's many ghosts were Joan Crawford herself.
Apparently, there was a child that drowned here at the swimming pool. I don't know much about the story at all, but people have seen an apparition of a child wandering around here, and I don't really know where we start.
The area seems to be a little on the thick, dense, weird-feeling side anyway, and I think if we just kind of coordinate and take pictures across, perhaps we might get some orbs or get something else.
Chris and Gloria started to take photographs. We weren't getting any orbs or anomalies. Then Chris photographed this. He believed he caught something unusual. I was convinced there was a rational explanation.
I mean, this is pretty bright.
Yeah, but listen, I've been pretty good. But if you understand that you've got a camera from over there, and you've got a mirror there, Chris, look, mirror here, reflecting things.
Okay,
What's that?
so
So this is over there,
and
you're taking pictures.
Yeah, where's it reflecting?
On there, behind this.
Where? Show me, where?
On the window.
Where on the window?
Anywhere in the window, wherever it is on your blooming camera.
If something's reflecting right here,
No, it's not. Right, let me see the picture.
It's reflecting down here. The frame
Really?
goes
The corner
all the way
of the
across.
window.
The window goes all the way across here.
I can't do it.
No, if you look at this, no, look.
It's just being
because if you
mental.
stand over here, then why do you have a glare outside that's covering this up and not behind?
There seems to be some question as to what Chris has on his camera. Chris is talking about line of sight, meaning the orb or whatever it is, the anomaly that he sees is more forward than what would be reflecting off of something reflective. Gail seems to think that it's just something reflecting off of the window that's behind, and that's what they're discussing.
No, it's not covering it up.
This here,
that is a light flashing, and it's
covering up here.
Jesus,
It's
you
in
are
the
absolutely
background.
insane. Chris, it's a reflection. It's something that's flashed off something, and it's just flashed on your camera.
I can't
you see that?
discredit this until I get looked at further.
What fell in the pool over here?
You're just grabbing at straws.
Hey,
Sometimes-
guys! Did somebody see something fall in the pool over here?
I saw that, yeah.
Okay. What's going on? There's nothing in the bottom of the pool.
In the midst of our discussion, Gloria thought she heard a noise.
that?
It sounded like something dropping in the water.
It's something that splashed or something. And it's
What's that? Well, we had something fall into the pool, and it was enough to raise, it was with such force that it raised the water a bit.
Did you do that? Okay, there's screaming going on in the background. Hello? Give us another sign that you're here. I'm just sensing that if whoever drowned here drowned on that other side.
Are you sensing who or what it is?
Yeah.
What are you sensing?
Hang on until I get over here. Wait till I get over here. I gotta pick up the place of memory.
Okay.
That's where it occurred. It occurred right over here. Child drowned right over there. Is there anybody here? And if there is, can you please give us a direct sign so we know?
Suddenly, Gloria noticed something weird happening with the water.
Reflection off the water? I don't know.
No, what's that? What's it swirling?
Why is it doing that?
Every swimming pool has a filter. However, in this case, the filter was 25 yards away on the other side of the pool, and therefore could not have caused ripples on this side. Was this the sign Chris had been asking for? And could it have been a sign from Joan Crawford?
Hey, Chris.
Chris? Yeah? Come here, there's something very strange going on in the water
Did you get
here.
a face in the water? Oh, that's cool. Let it go.
What is it?
Just keep watching it.
What is it?
I've heard stories, okay, of people that have drowned, namely children. There tends to be splashing. Someone can be working by the pool late at night or whatever, and all of a sudden there's a big splash, and they'll run over the pool, and there's nothing there. Just the ripples, as if something jumped in.
As quickly as it came, the rippling suddenly stopped and the pool became still once more.
I think whatever it was is gone.
Our next stop was the Brook Room, a location where many spirits have been felt, heard and seen. The most common sighting was a little girl called Sarah. But as Joan Crawford used to dine there, would it be her spirit that we uncovered?
Sarah is a little girl that drowned back in 1950. She's still wearing her original dress that she drowned in. It's a little blue and white party dress. And she will go up to the guests and ask them, have you seen my mother? And when the guests turn around to find this little girl's mother and turn around to tell the girl, no, I haven't seen her, or yes, I have seen her, the little girl's gone.
Would Sarah show herself to us? More importantly, would Joan Crawford be here, back to a place she loved?
Well, as soon as I walked over here, because I thought I'd just test out my camera, I started feeling in the back of my neck that there's like some activity going on over here, or I'm coming in contact with one of the spirits that does actually haunt this area. The thing is, I have to connect and find out exactly what spirit it is. So it's male, female, adult, child. But I do know that Sarah had passed away right here, where she died, right around here. So I'm wondering if that's who it is. So we'll find out. Ever since we've gotten here, I've looked around, I've always saw stuff in the corner of my eyes, and I'm like, okay, that can happen, but it's happened here more than any other place I've been to, is you'll see things in the corner of your eyes, or you think you see something over there, and you look, there's nothing there. It's moving very quickly. Gail, if you feel anything or hear anything, let me know.
Is there anything that I can do?
Just call her. Gail, why don't you do this? Call for her.
We were both pretty sure we heard some humming coming from inside the tunnel.
There was a song. There was like a... You hear it?
Yeah, I heard it.
We're seeing things out of the corners of our eyes that are moving, but we can't seem to get a fix on it.
We never heard the humming again. I felt we were being distracted in our search for Joan Crawford.
They always say that you see ghosts when you least expect it, when you're not planning to, Someone might walk right up to you, and next thing you know, it's a ghost. You might hear something, you turn around, there's something standing right there.
Nonetheless, it appeared that Sarah might have given us a sign. On inspection of a photo that Chris took, you can see the outline of a girl with long hair looking through the window. Was this Sarah or Joan Crawford? We still had no sign of Joan. Not sure where to go from here, we decided to check on the paranormal detection equipment.
We have our handheld oscilloscope connected to our computer, which is giving us a readout of motion detected in this room.
Okay, so how do we know that this readout that you're getting is telling us that something's been in this room?
Well, using our oscilloscope here, it has up waves and down waves, where if there was no motion in here, it would just be a flat line.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
What should we do from here?
Well, we're trying to get Joan Crawford.
Yes.
Okay, and this can't tell us whether or not it was Joan Crawford.
That's correct.
So the only option is to do a seance. Okay, now I know you don't really care for seances too much. You're skeptical on it.
Yeah, it's a bit scary as well.
But I think we have to do it because that is the next step for us to try to contact Joan Crawford or whatever else is here.
I think it sounds great.
Okay.
So we prepared for a seance. This was our last chance to get in contact with Joan Crawford. We'd invited along some of Joan's biggest fans. Psychic Catherine Adams was there to lead the seance with parapsychologist Lloyd Auerbach in attendance.
Is there any way that you can like protect everybody in the circle as well as myself? Because Joan Crawford, if she does have this negative energy or anything else that comes through that's evil or negative, can protect us.
Well, yes, the matching frequency that I was talking about is good. Another thing is grounding and just asking for a protective energy to be around the circle.
What's the protocol for you, for a parapsychologist, to make sure that everything runs smoothly in the seance tonight?
Well, in reality, if you're doing a seance of any kind, you want to avoid any fraud. So when we're talking about physical events actually happening, we have to check the whole environment and then take a look at what the people might actually have on them.
So we should make sure that the entire room is completely secure.
Right.
And then, what you're saying, like frisking them, just to make sure that no one's got in anything.
That's right. In some instances, you would definitely want to frisk people.
Lloyd was happy with the surroundings, so the seance could start. Lloyd and I observed from outside the circle. Would Joan Crawford come through for us at last?
We specifically would like to bring you, Joan Crawford, through. We would welcome you tonight.
Joan Crawford, I welcome you to channel through me with any messages that you may have.
She might have a little hesitancy getting into a man's body. Just let her come in, Chris. There's some emotion. Let it come through. Is there anything you would like to say? Speak through Chris. You can talk. Have you felt misunderstood? Is that it? Just come all the way in through the throat. You can talk through him.
Who's seeing these things? Who are you to call me here?
Did you want to come?
I am not used to this.
Is there anything you would like to say to us?
Who am I in?
You are in.
I am not used to this.
You're in Chris's body.
Are you aware that your daughter wrote a book about you?
She did not understand what I was going through. It was not easy being what I was.
That's right.
Bitch.
Suddenly, Gloria felt like she couldn't breathe. Concerned, I took her out of the room.
What is it? Come on, we'll go outside. Come on, watch the steps, hold my hand. Why are you crying? Oh no, why are you crying? Oh no.
Had Joan been angry with Gloria for asking about her daughter and directed negative energy towards her?
It's better.
Okay, can you tell me what you felt?
I don't know.
Do you want a hug? Have a hug?
I was just sitting next to him, and all of a sudden, I could feel it right here.
Okay.
It was just like I couldn't.
You didn't
I was having a hard time breathing.
You didn't panic.
So I sat there I just sat there for a minute, going, "What am I feeling here? I don't know. I don't know what it was."
During Gloria's breakdown, Chris stopped channeling and the seance was brought to an end.
Oh, hold on.
It was interesting to watch Chris, his contortions, and how he actually came through with whatever he came through. You know, from a parapsychological standpoint, the reality is that there's no direct evidence that he was speaking to spirits at all. And for me, the question would be, and it seems to be, that he's very sincere in his belief about this, that this is not something he's making up consciously. So how much of this is unconscious and how much of this is coming from anything he's picking up is difficult to say because there's no direct, specific information that we could verify.
What did fellow psychic Catherine think Joan Crawford's message was?
I think she was very confused about being called into the body, though, and didn't really know, why she was called in. I think that she got a chance to talk about what happened in life with her daughter, how her fame ruined her family life, and how she's thinking about it now.
The following morning, Chris and I met to discuss the investigation.
Now, do you think that Joan came through at the channel session? You do?
No. I have a problem with this channeling because I know I am trying, but basically I've got to watch you do that and then I've just got to take your word for it.
Right.
There's nothing from us to see other than you contorting and saying things that are not really surprising.
Well, I like your skepticism, though, because it keeps me on my feet and it makes me want to work harder to get more concrete proof for you.
We just need to see something other than you
I know.
making faces,
I'm sorry.
which is great, and you look wonderful.
I can't help what comes through.
No. I like the fact that we learnt more about Joan and we met some crazy people.
Well, we sure did.
I think I quite liked her a lot.
I think so.
Yeah, in a crazy kind of way. I wouldn't want her to be my mum, though.
No, I wouldn't either.
No.